Hello, beautiful, and welcome back to another episode of Beautiful, I Am Colored. This is a place where I share insights and perspectives I've gained from my week in a hope of bringing a sense of hope and healing to you, the listener. Listen, y'all, it's 12:04 p.m. Sunday, November the 12th, and you can probably tell by the tone of my voice that I'm fully irritated. Why am I irritated? I'm glad you asked. I'm irritated because I just spent the past 45 minutes video recording so that I could upload my first YouTube video to accompany this podcast. And guess what happened? Well, the camera started malfunctioning again. Then the software that I use, it's a Microsoft software that I use, crashed on me right in the middle of uploading. So I says to myself, are you going to give up, Evelyn? I said, no, I'm not going to give up. And I said, go on back to your tried and true. So we're back here on the audio podcast. I don't know if I fully lost all of what I shot video wise. If it works and I can edit throughout the week, I'll end up uploading it. But listen, the topic for today, which I already talked about, I guess, to myself. Oh, God. Is how I'm getting out of my own way. Well, one of those ways I'm getting out of my own way today is not allowing technology to interfere with my purpose-driven work. And trust you me on today, that has taken a lot out of me to make that decision and follow through. Okay, before I get in too deep into today's topic, I do want to start with the shout outs and thank you segment. For those of you who are new here, this is a moment of my podcast where I shout out a person, place, thing, or idea, and just to show gratitude. It's very important to me to show what you're thankful for and who you're thankful for. And so that's what this segment is all about. And so this week's shout out and thank you goes to my sister, Mel. And I talked to my sister, was that yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. I talked to my sister yesterday, and she was just so awesome because she reminded me that, man, a lot of people are really struggling right now. And y'all know, if y'all been listening to me for the past several weeks, that I really kind of been struggling, with my own stuff, being real hard on myself about not reaching certain goals or not feeling like, I am where I thought I should be and all the things. But my sister, in her sharing, her story with me and the stories of some other people that she it just became apparent, like, how petty, you've been, Evelyn, how petty, because you've been focused on all these material things, and the truth of the matter is the stuff that matters most. You done got off your square about being thankful for those things, and you've been magnifying the other things. And I'm not saying that one shouldn't strive for more and want to be more and become more, because y'all know that's what I'm all about. But what I am saying is that sometimes the scales can become, imbalanced, in that we're focusing too much over here and not enough on the other side of things. And for me, that definitely is where I found myself this week. And I'm like, girl, you might not be driving the car you want to drive, but guess what? That thing bought and paid for. You don't have no problems, okay? With regular maintenance on it, it's still going. You don't need no new tires, you ain't about to get put out. Your house is good, like your relationship with your spouse, is good. Sometimes it can be a little rocky, but usually that's because somebody is out of whack. But the bottom line is, like, I'm blessed. I am blessed, to be here, to do the work that I've been called to do. And so I just thank my sister for talking to me this week. It was a really good conversation I had with her while I was waiting my turn at the car wash yesterday. And then the other thing I'm thankful for is a clean bill of health. So this is going to serve as a reminder for some of you who need to get your annual checkups and things like that. I got my labs done. I had an ultrasound done just because fibroids. I have a history of fibroid issues in my family on my mom's side. And so, I just got everything checked out, and I'm so happy to say that got all my labs back. Everything is good. I'm in good health. And so I am thankful for that. Now, is your girl where her thighs and, all that where they want to be? No. We ain't there yet. But for all the things that matter, we are good and in a good place. And so I'm so thankful for that. And I'm blessed to not be on any prescriptions. Now, this is not anything to say against somebody who's on prescriptions, because we do what we need to do, and you should. But I'm just saying, I'm thankful that I'm not on any prescriptions, and that's a huge thing to be thankful for. It's huge. Anyhow, okay, getting right into today's topic, because I actually already talked about this for like 30 minutes before the system crashed on me when I was going to post a YouTube video. Today, really quick, going to serve as a reminder for loyal listeners, but how I'm getting out of my own way. Like I said, I just shared with you, one of the things I'm doing is just not allowing, things that are minuscule and out of my control. I can't control that the software crashed. I can't control that, the camera is doing what it does, but I can control how I respond and act to things, and still go ahead and persevere and push through what I know that I'm supposed to be doing. That's one thing. Another thing that I do is when I need to pull myself away, which is the season that I'm in now. I still will be podcasting each week, but pulling away from, social engagements and activities for just a season, so that I can get clear about the new year, and what I want to be focused on and intentional about in the new year. And honestly, that's something that I do each and every year, is kind of just pull back, a little bit, so that I can meditate and be prepared for what's to come. And sometimes that includes saying no to different invitations that you might receive from others. And that's not anything against the people. I love my friends and my family, but I just know that for what I'm called to do and for what works for me, that I have to have at times moments of isolation so that I can refuel and be the best version of myself to show up for them and others. Another thing that I do is start my day and end my day. Well, I'm still on the journey to becoming sustainably consistent. Sustainably consistent in starting my day and ending my day with positive things. I will say for the past probably 3 to 4 weeks, I have fallen off a little bit because there's so much going on in my local community now with major issues, that I have kind of gotten a little bit swept into those issues and started to focus more on like the things that need to be major problems that need to be solved, and that honestly has contributed to great angst and frustration, because I just feel strongly that there is always a better way to do things, and sometimes people are not as always open to listening to innovative thought and ideas, or being corrected when they have gone off track. And so I found myself like not spiraling, because that ain't what it was, but in a rut, like just feeling low. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still going to work, I'm still functioning, still doing all the things, but just blah. I wish you could see my face right now, but just blah. And I was like, I cannot continue down this path. I'm not going to be any good, not just for myself. I'm not going to be good for anybody else. Definitely not the listeners of this podcast. And so I was like, okay, you know what to do. You know what your channels are. I talked a little bit about that in the previous episode. You know what your channels are so that you can get opened up, to be able to hear. So just get back up, dust yourself off, get back on track, and, focus on the things that you need to focus on. And the other thing is just after a time of isolation, surrounding myself with like-minded people, or people who are, on a similar path, the path to become better, the path to not focus on talking about other people, but talking about how you can become better, like surrounding myself with people like that. And oftentimes those people don't come in the form of physical friends, like meaning literal friends that you can call up and talk to. But sometimes those things come through, different channels, like YouTube, for example, like audio books or podcasts. And those are the things that I turn to in terms of like-mindedness. And, it's not anything that you need to how can I say this? To see as a problem if you don't have, the set of friends or the network that you have that you may want to have but don't have right now. It doesn't have to be really hard. It's as simple as hashtag positive, hashtag encouraging words, hashtag beautiful I'm colored. Y'all see how I did that? But my point is that sometimes we overcomplicate matters that are actually quite simple. And this is one of those things. And I'm not trying to shed light on, people who, are in a hard place right now, because I know a lot of people are. And I just know, though, that who you hang around, who feeds into you, which conversations you're having, that all feeds into your mind, and that ultimately feeds into what you put out to others, regardless of if you say it or not. People can sense it, people can feel it. At least I know for me, people can sense it and feel it, and I happen to have a very huge aura, so I don't have to say very many words. When I walk into a place, you can feel what's going on. That's just how I'm created. But the bottom line is that when you feel like you at the end of your rope, or the end, and you can't do it no more, typically that's when you know you done put yourself in your own way, and you have to do whatever it takes to get you back to center. And like I said, sometimes for some of us, that means we have to pull back a little bit, And, one of the things that came to me this week when I was thinking about this topic and what I was going to share with you is, if you have currently the circle that when you leave their presence, you feel drained and tired, and you feel like you need to take a break from taking a break, that's an indicator that you need to make a shift. When you, how can I say this? When you are in relationships with folk where you're the only one always pouring in, but it's not reciprocated, and you start to notice that, then that might be a hint of where you are in that relationship, and that things might need to shift, unless, of course, that's how you want that relationship to be defined. And so for me, I just, I've been reassessing, a lot of things, and, just trying to get back on track with what I'm called to do. And I ain't going to lie to you, it has not been without struggle, and sometimes great struggle. Work been pressing real hard on me lately, and that my temperament is not as easy as it typically is in terms of offering grace and extending grace. And it's kind of like, if that's on you, sis, meaning that's on me. That's on me to shift that and change that, because I get to determine how I show up. I get to determine how I respond. I get to determine how much energy is, how much energy I exchange and give to others. I do get to determine that, and you get to determine that too. But you do have to be awake enough, and by awake, I ain't talking about woke culture and stuff like that. By awake, what I'm talking about is spiritually in tune with yourself. And I get it, some of us are at a different place than others, but I'm telling you the key here, being spiritually in tune, so that you know when you're out of tune and when you out of whack. And that takes a lot of personal development work, a ton of it. And for some of you who are kind of new to the whole personal development realm, I just encourage you, Google personal development, top speakers on personal development. There are some world-renowned and some very classic individuals who speak on these types of topics. And people who I definitely have gravitated towards. They may not be physically in this earth realm, but the things that they left here and deposited are definitely helping contribute to me becoming a better person, and to me getting out of my own way. And I know I wrote about this in a blog post that I posted this morning. And so I would encourage you to do that, and then maybe you might want to just isolate for a little bit, Yeah, you might have to go to work every day and maybe you can't take off. That's fine. But when you get off work, can you quiet yourself down? Can you just sit with yourself for a minute and cry if you need to cry, or have positive thoughts for a moment, think on good things for a moment? And I say that because the season that we're about to go into is going to be real turbulent. It is. It's going to be very turbulent. And if you're off center, you're going to struggle greatly. So I am telling you, as a form of caution, please take heed to what I'm saying. Do the work that you know for you to get you together. And, I felt that leave me, so I'm going to leave that right there. And that is all that I have within me to give this week. I'm going to stop right there because I feel like I'm going into a different lane there. If I am so inclined, I will come back with more. If I am led to share more about where I'm feeling that we're headed. But don't know when that's going to be or if that's going to be. So I'm going to get ready to sign off for now. I hope that a little bit, even if it's just a little tiny snippet of what I said, has contributed to a sense of hope and healing for you. And as always, I would like for you to remember that the future you is waiting on you. The person that you want to see 6 months from now, 12 months, 10 years, 20 years, 30, 40, 50 years from now, they're waiting on you. And you do have the power to show up and apply the action that you need in order to get to be that person. Okay. I hope that everyone has a great week. For those of us returning to work, I can't believe I forgot to say Happy Veterans Day to everyone listening. Happy Veterans Day weekend. I have a ton of family members who are still serving or have served in the military, and I am so thankful for your service. Be safe. Have a great week, everyone. And until next time, stay blessed.